All right, today we're talking about finding, hiring, and keeping superstars. So, why should a business owner approach finding employees differently than what they're probably currently doing right now?
Yeah. Well, the purpose of our whole program, of everything we do, is to help the small business owner have more freedom to do what they want, when they want, where they want, by focusing only on the wildly important, right? The 20% that generates 80%. And that's especially true when you're looking for employees and trying to keep employees. It's the 20% that generate all your results. Those are your superstars, and that's who you want. In his book, um, Good to Great by Jim Collins, in their research, they discovered that the great companies, they started with who before they focused on what. So in other words, they got the right people on the bus and the wrong people off the bus. And then they figured out where to drive it. And they also found that the really successful companies, they recruit 365 days a year. And they only recruit the best. And when they find them, they hire them. Um, and that was one of the things that I drove into my managers' heads all the time, was always be looking to hire. When you find that 5%er, hire them. Even if you don't have a position for them, figure,
Mhm.
make a position if you have to, but hire them, because those people are hard to find. Um, and that's what the great companies do. They look for that 5% that generates 65% plus of the results. And that 65%, that 565 is part of the 80-20 principle, because 80-20 is fractal. And having the right people in the right position trumps everything else. You can have the best systems, but if you have the wrong people in those systems will eventually fail.
Yeah.
I hate bringing this up, but I always have really bad luck at McDonald's. I don't go there anymore, but when I did, I never got my order right. I mean, they have the best systems in the world, but they're not necessarily hiring the best people.
So, Larry, so what most people probably do right now, right, is they wait until there's a vacancy, then they put feelers out, run job ads. So, by doing that, aren't you putting yourself kind of in lingo or lurch to maybe hiring the wrong person? So how much does that cost you when I mean, getting the wrong person on the bus? What does that cost you?
Yeah, it's huge. And what most owners don't think about, or business people don't think about, when they think when they hire the wrong person, it's just well, they didn't produce what I wanted, and we move on. Well, people don't have any idea, but a bad hire can set you back anywhere from $25,000 to several $100,000, depending on the position. I think there was the National Business Research Institute did a research study on that, and they found five main factors to help them estimate this cost. You got loss of productivity, you got training costs, you got the recruiting costs, especially if you've got an HR department. You've got the interviewing costs. Somebody has to interview these people. And then you have the cost of placing the ads themselves. But hiring the wrong person for any position is a really expensive mistake. And it's besides the things like this that we just talked about. You've got some indirect costs. Like we talked about, decreased productivity,
Mhm.
reduced quality of work.
A lot of bad, yeah. It decreases morale of
Yeah,
other employees if they're always training other people,
yep,
if bad people are working alongside them.
yeah, exactly. A bad employee takes more supervision, as you said. It lowers the morale of the good people. Um, I can tell you, good employees know who the bad employees are, and it does lower their morale. It does lower their productivity, and that's why you lose. That's a major cause of losing good employees, is because they're working alongside of bad employees, and they look at it and say, "Heck, if management doesn't care, why should I care?" That's the first thing they look at. But good results come from good people, and the other thing is the right employee, those superstars. They're a major factor in attracting and keeping the right customers as well. Most people keep coming back to a business, not because of a relationship they have with an organization, but because of the relationship they have with a person, someone they trust. So, you know, that's another one of those side benefits of having good people is you're going to attract good customers. You're going to attract good suppliers and vendors. People recognize integrity, they recognize character, they recognize competence, and they recognize the opposite. And if you're surrounding yourself with people who are not the superstars, then again, just like it causes low morale in their fellow employees working alongside of them, it does the same for customers and suppliers and all other stakeholders. Um, good long-term employees is something else you're going to get by hiring the superstars, right?
Yeah. So what should a business owner do differently if they're normally, again, what they're normally doing is wait for a vacancy or wait for till they need a position. Then they go, put a job ad out that says exactly the same thing as all their competition, usually all the same platitudes, all the benefits and pay and all the same stuff. What should they do differently?
Well, yeah, that's it. I mean, everyone always goes looking for the best people, right? I mean, no one deliberately goes out to job fairs, search agencies, or places ads hoping to attract the slacker. But what most small business owners do is they look only when they're in the market for people. And then it's kind of like they're in a fire sale. And that's why so many hire just those warm bodies. They wait until it becomes a quadrant one activity. And that is they wait until the situation becomes both urgent and important. Somebody left, I've got a vacancy to fill, I got to fill that spot. That's why the great companies, those that dominate the market, they hire and fire 365 days a year. When they find the right person, whether outside the business or inside, they pursue them. And at the same time, when they identify the poor performers, they rotate them out. Either they let them go or they find a more suitable position within the organization. In fact, hiring, firing, keeping the right people is probably the most important task a business owner has.
So one of the things that we talk about is figuring out just like a target audience, like for your customers, figuring out what do they want, what do your employees want, and figuring out what can you offer them that maybe no one else in town does offer. So what do employees want?
Yeah, well, number one, they want to work for the best employer in town, right? That's what they want. They want somebody who's likable. They want somebody who's trustworthy. They want somebody who delivers on results on what they say they're going to do. And that's why one of the key things that we offer is we help business owners develop that 24/7 recruiting page right on their webpage. And it isn't that you're placing an ad, but what it is it's telling people your story, why you are the best employer in town, why you're the place that the superstars should be attracted to, and why they should come to you. So in a way, it is a recruiting ad, but it's a totally different type of recruiting ad than anybody's ever seen before. Highly effective, and it is going to attract only the people you want, only the superstars, guaranteed. So that part of your website is working 24/7, and it is clearly telling your story, why the superstars in your marketplace should come to you.
All right, I think that's a great place to wrap it up for this time. Till next time, thanks.